guys. So you have, yeah. All right, we are at 7 o'clock, so I'm going to jump right in. Since I know if you had training yesterday, it was a long day. We got on at like 1:30 last night. So I'm still like, I don't know, not hungover, trying to recover from being up so late. But a topic that we touched on last night that I wanted to touch on, I've trained on it in the past and my videos are probably outdated. I actually just went through and kind of looked at them today. They're back to 2017. So this feature has never changed, but it's definitely time that we update and touch on it. And also, you know, have some Q&A with the Zoom feature as well for you guys. The waiting room is part of your compensation plan. It's a feature of how you can work your business that is actually quite genius. When you sign someone up, you can sign up 100 people and they're all going to be yours. I'm actually going to flip and share my screen so as you can kind of see just a little bit of a visual of what the waiting room is. So let me do that. That way you can see it. And I also did like just some little drawings that are kind of juvenile, but will make a little bit of sense to you guys. So let me share my screen here. Share screen. Okay. All right. So I have, actually, this is the portion of the waiting room that's in your compensation plan, but let me show you first where to get it. In your cloud office, this is your homepage. There are so many amazing training resources under documents and downloads, the training materials. You've got awesome videos, but documents and downloads are actually where you're going to find a PDF for all your products. And you're going to have the rewards plan that's right in here. So when you click on the rewards plan, this is the feature of in here that it kind of covers as far as the waiting room. And, you know, this is honestly just kind of a really good visual when you're getting paid and how, you know, if you've never taken a look at it, maybe some things will click with you if you've been trained on how much you get paid, but your waiting room aspect is going to be down here. So let's scroll down to your waiting room, understanding your placement capabilities. So like I said, when you come in, this is me, this is Karri Ann. These are all my personally enrolled. Wow, I did a good job. I got 6 personally enrolled. You know, when you're starting out, if you're going for your VIP, a lot of times you've got your 4. So I'm going to sign all of these people up. They are all going to be mine. You know, so if we're going to thinking now, I've got Dawn, I've got Beth, I've got Mylene, I have Aaron, I have Logan. These are, you know, people that in my organization I've personally signed up and brought on board. I can help so many people. I don't have to keep all of these people all just to me. It would be doing me a disservice if I just kept everybody here. Here. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me go back to you guys mute whoever. Let me mute. Thank you guys. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to mute everybody. I'd be doing myself a disservice if I kept everybody here for myself. And on here, it says the waiting room is an extremely unique feature, provides support for team building and strategic placement. Use the waiting room to advance ranks with Lavelle. What you've got in here, see how this was looking before. There you go. When you personally enroll, they're your level 1. Like I said, you have 60 days from the time that someone signs up. You know, in your cloud office over here, you've got as well, my team. This is where you're going to see all of your sponsorship downline. So every single person on that little chart that I showed you in those first bubbles, those 6 bubbles that we're looking at, all of these people, these are your sponsorship downline. Wherever you've signed them up, if they're your level ones, they're always going to be on that chart there. Level 2 would be, you know, anybody like, let's just say Stacy right here is Dawn. Dawn Stevenson is my personal promoter. Anybody that Dawn has signed up will always be my level 2. So let's say these are all Kelsey. Anybody under Kelsey will be my level 3. These are sponsorship. These are all the people they've signed up. They don't have anything to do with any waiting room moves. This is just the way your waiting room is. So that's going to be my sponsorship downline. So if I want to know who I've always sponsored, I'm going to click sponsorship downline. For example, if I'm trying to help someone look at what their sponsorship downline is, let's say I typed in like Kristen Scott at the top of the screen. I see Kristen on here. Say I typed in her name and I wanted to know every single personal promoter Kristen signed up. I would click her name, and underneath her name is going to pop up. I'm not going to bring anybody up. I don't want anybody to share anybody's stuff, but it would say Kristen Scott, and underneath her name would say sponsorship downline, placement downline. I'd be able to click and see every person that Kristen has sponsored. If I'm trying to look at her numbers, I'm going to click placement downline because I'm going to see where she's moved all those people, who's been moved under her, and how many of those legs are now her first level legs. So that's where you see placement downline, because Kristen may have signed up 10 people, but she may have combined them all, and her placement downline may only now show 2 people. Those are going to be her legs. Those are the legs that I know. That's placement. It's any moves you've made and where you've moved them and the rows that they go to. I know that, you know, they normally suggest not going past 4 levels deep with moves. I've gone, I mean, in the past, I just was really excited to help lots of people. So I've gone like 10 levels deep, which I say, don't do that. You know, I say stick with 4, because there are a lot of times where you're going to see promotions for trips that they now have where it says, you're going to earn based on X amount of auto ships in your first 3-4 levels of placement downline. Your sponsorship downline, like for this 200K retreat that I had to hit, you know, I had to have 120 or 125 sponsorship downline PPA. You had to have that to qualify. It wasn't placement. So there's going to be different categories. So my suggestion is try to help someone, but don't go past those levels. But this is where you have an understanding of where you're going to see when you're helping your team or moves that you've made, where your legs are going to fall, just so you guys understand. So this is placement, or this is sponsorship, level 1, level 2, and level 3. For example, this is where your placement's going to come into line. Say I'm moving somebody here. Say remember we said this was Dawn, this was Kelsey. Let's say I signed up Erin, and I took Erin and was like, I'm going to move her right here. For obviously they're saying this is Lori. Lori's going to be underneath these people. She is always going to give them volume all the time. I will no longer see her on my level 1 placement downline. She'll always be my sponsorship for pay and everything. But any sales that I guess it's kind of confusing since I don't have the names here. Let's say I move Lori under Adam and Stacy. Lori forever will always be under Adam and Stacy. She's going to give them sales every single month going forward, and that will never change. This is a gift that someone can give you. So let's say you're trying to push a rank, and you know these legs here are you know, you've got Stacy and Adam and Zach, and let's say combined Stacy's sitting at $8,000 in sales. If any sales I move under her, let's say this is just $2,000, I'm going to get her to $10,000 in sales now. Whatever sales Adam has, let's say those were 4K, he now has 6K. And then all you need to focus on is on those other legs having $2,000 in volume, and you're at 12K. You know, you're stacking people and helping someone by moving. You're really not impacting yourself because those sales are always going to be yours. It's just a matter of, you don't want to take John, Tom, Lori, Stacy, and Chris, and I'll move them under Tracy because you're like, Tracy is awesome. I want Tracy to get her car bonus. I'm going to move Chris here and Stacy here. Then I'm going to move Lori here and Tom here and John here. I'm going to help them all. And then all of a sudden you have one giant ass leg and you have nobody on the other side. You can't rank up with just one person being all of your sales. Just like I explained last night, I couldn't sign Haas up as my, one of two promoters, and Haas goes 200K and my other promoter just be like $100. I'll never hit a rank. I can't sign someone else and get a rank if I don't have it balanced. The way that you balance it out, guys, just so you know, for ranks, if you're ever looking, at your ranks, when you're 4K and you're going for 4K, you have to have, as a promoter for 4K and 12K, minimum of 2 active legs. When you're getting close to 40K, that's when you want to start focusing on those 4 legs, or 40K, 80K, and 200K. You need to have 4 active legs. My suggestion, and we're always advised strongly by Maria, is to definitely have 6 to 8 legs. My suggestion is, if you've got some, a couple rock star legs and you want to focus on them and just have some smaller, we all know that we have those promoters that are basically like they're glorified customers in a promoter title. Sometimes those are going to be extra legs that keep you active, but you always want to make sure that you're paying attention as to where you're stacking. So when you're going for your rank, let's just say, I'm trying to think, for example, oh, here, I did it. I actually did a visual on here. I'm going to pass this back to myself. So I did this here. Okay. So I've got Dawn, Aaron, Logan. Each of them are 4K. They're all my personal promoters. I'm going to make a waiting room move. Dawn and Aaron will still be mine. I've now given Logan this 4K here to Dawn. All she needs is to get another leg of her own. That's 4,000, and she's at 12K. So you are essentially, you could incentivize someone to hit a promoter rank. Say, hey, I can give you some waiting room volume. I can move this person to you if they're in my waiting room. You only have 60 days from the time that they sign up as a free brand promoter to move them. So when you click on your waiting room, which is the same spot I showed you, the commissions, or not commissions, the sponsorship and placement, the waiting room is there. When it says, wait, we placed under our level other than level 1. Yes, you can place, you can go as far as you want, Jojo, to move under people. So what I like to do, for example, if I have, let's say we're just gonna keep using Dawn and Kelsey because they're awesome. Dawn is my promoter, and let's say Kelsey, obviously Kelsey's under her, Kyla's under her, we've got Tina and Jim, all of those people. If at some point we're like, oh, Kelsey's like, hey, I have Kyla, and Kyla is trying to rank to get to 12K. If I move under Kyla, she's my level 3. Like I said, I don't want to go more than 4 levels deep. If I move Kyla, somebody that's under me, the volume that I give from that person, let's just say it's Kristen, and just say Kristen was mine, and I moved Kristen and I put her under Kyla. Kyla will always get that volume. So will Kelsey. So will Dawn, and I still will get that volume. And I am helping all of these people every month just by stacking this. But what I'll say is, I'll say, okay, Kyla, who is, or I'll say, where is the leg under Kyla that I need to place this? Where should it go? Is it going to be her first leg? For obviously for Kelsey, if it were someone, say I was trying to rank up Kelsey, she's my level 2. If I'm like, Kelsey, okay, and say it wasn't Kyla she's trying to rank up, but she was trying to rank up and I wanted to help her. And I said, hey, if we went one level under you, where would it make most sense to help you hit 12K, 80K, whatever it is? If Kelsey has somebody that's already super strong, if she has like a rock star like Kristen that is, let's say, $8,000 of her volume, I'm not going to give Kristen that other $4,000 because I'm going to give her too much volume on one leg. I'm going to make sure I balance her out by where I'm placing that. I'm going to put my other 4K under somebody else under her. And maybe, so it makes more sense to make it more balanced. So if you're a strong leg and you're coming in and you're a rock star, a lot of times you're, like I said, I don't have any waiting room volume moved under my organization at all. And that's okay. It didn't make sense. I came in and my sales went fast. It would be like, you know, just kind of throwing fire on fire. Holly needed to balance things out with anybody else that she signed up. She would need to move those people, you know, on all of those other legs. Like when Holly signed Jennifer up, Jennifer went like 200, or Holly went 200K super fast. So it wouldn't make sense for Jennifer to say, I'm just going to keep throwing people under Holly. Like she needs to balance herself out and would have people on those opposite legs. So don't ever think like, wow, it sucks that I didn't get like free volume. Well, when you have it in your downline in your organization and you have a rock star, like it's kind of an awesome thing that you don't, you know, don't expect that you're going to get something. But that's honestly, in my mind, like a huge ass blessing. Like if you've brought someone in that is so much of your volume that you don't even have to stress getting 60% of your rank covered, that's amazing in itself. You love on them, you do whatever you can to help them. And if the one thing you can't give them is waiting room volume, it's okay. You know, you just love on them and give them promotions and do whatever it is that you can. So when you're looking at ranking, let's go back to, let's see here, share screen. Here, like I said, the legs, 2, 2, and 4 legs. So if you signed up 4 promoters and they are your 4 rock stars, you don't want to move them out of your rating room. You're going to keep them as your top 4 legs. Let's say you're just shooting for 4 legs. And you can always keep them. And so as you go along, like when I built my teams, it's kind of the people that came along towards the start. A lot of them have the top spots. And I trickled in everybody as it comes along and built underneath them and stacked them so I could help everybody else. If I just kept everybody all in one level, a lot of these people wouldn't have got car bonuses, wouldn't have ranked up because I was moving people and stacking them under them to help them. Just like this visual, if I kept Dawn, Aaron, and Logan all as one level, they would only just stay as level 1. If I stacked all 3 of them together, I would give Dawn extra volume. Like I said, Dawn could have Logan's 4,000 and she would be at 8,000. If I moved Aaron over here, Dawn would go 12K. Just by me moving 2 4K legs under her. And those people will always be there. But when you're looking at your compensation plan, 60% of every rank, this is where you find it. If you're not a math genius, like I'm not, I always need to do the math. So when I'm going to thinking, okay, I want to hit 4K, how much can I have on my strong leg? Because I signed up Kristen and you know what? Kristen went 4K, but I don't have anybody on my other leg. What do I have to have on my other legs and in personal sales so I can hit 4K? The answer right here is $2,400. That's your max strong leg qualifying volume. Or actually, hold on, that's the opposite. 4,000 minus 2,400. All right, 2,400 is your max strong leg volume. Again, not good with numbers. That's the most that I can get from Kristen towards 4K. So if I have no sales and I just bring on Kristen and she goes 4K, I only have $2,400 in my circle saying $2,400 qualifying volume towards 4K because I don't get credit for all of her volume. I need to get $1,600 on another leg and in personal volume to go towards a rank. So your customer orders count in that other 40% of whatever it is you're going for a rank for. So when you look here at these other numbers, as we go along, when you're going for 12K, you've got $12,000 is what you need. Let's see, this is so bad that I have to do the math every time. Minus 7,200. So I signed up Kristen. Kristen went 12K and I don't have shit on my other leg. I have nothing. I need to find $4,800 or I will not get 12K. Kristen will be 12K. That's 12K rank. So I need to have $4,800 in other promoters. I could have 5 other promoters on these other legs and they could all add up to that $4,800. That's fine. In my mind, if I have 5 other promoters, I only need 2 active legs. So I need Kristen and 1 other leg. I'm going to stack all 5 of these other people over here. I'm going to know like, wow, Kristen's going to be my strong leg. All I ever am going to need is this other leg to be these other people combined. So I'm just going to really focus on those 2 legs and maybe working the strategy over here from combining the waiting room and growing over here, and my personal sales. The only difference, guys, this is something that will confuse a lot of people. When you're trying to hit an auto bonus, there's a difference between 12K and auto bonus earner. A lot of times you'll see someone say, oh, so-and-so hit the 12K rank, but you don't see that they hit the auto bonus yet. To have an auto bonus, you have to have 4 personally enrolled promoters that have $100 in volume. It's not legs. Legs are different from personally enrolled promoters. That's where people get confused. I could have 4 promoters. Let's say I've got Dawn, Beth, Aaron, and Logan. All 4 of these people are 4 personally enrolled to me. I could combine one under the other and only have 2 active legs, but all 4 of them, if they have $100 in volume, are 4 active personally enrolled promoters, no matter where I moved them. I could move these guys 20 levels deep. If they're active and they've been signed to me under, remember where we went, that personally enrolled, the sponsorship downline, if they have $100, that's how I get paid on my auto bonus. And I have $12,000 in sales. You don't have to have 4 active legs. It's 4 active promoters. That's what people get confused about, which is just an easy confusion because sometimes some of this is just jargon. And if you even do not grasp it after this, like it's totally okay, because some of this is really confusing. If you look at it, like I said, just like a tree and you kind of draw the picture and write them out, sometimes that really does help. Instead of looking at like sponsorship downline. But as you're growing your business, you're looking on here. Okay, so when I go to 40K, the most I could get on Kristen, if Kristen's my rock star and she's $40,000 in sales now, I have to have, let's see, $40,000 minus, what did I say, 24,000. That's sad. I can't do math. 16,000 on my other legs. So you'll see a lot of times where someone says, oh my gosh, I'm redlined. That's what that means. That means you've got a rock star that signed up. And a lot of times people will be redlined from a rank. I've been redlined. I got super excited with the waiting room and I moved a ton of people from, like I said, when we signed up Jamie. I was the last promoter for his VIP bonus. Then we worked my VIP bonus. So we had 8 promoters here. Well, I had some people under my leg I was super excited about. So we took some of his people over here and moved them under here so we could help more people rank up, because I had 8 promoters over here, combined them in legs. And then I started moving because I was like, oh my God, I want everybody to have an auto bonus. I want them to get their iPad bonus, all of this stuff. I was excited. And then I was like, oh, fuck, this leg has so much volume because I took a bunch from him. So when he was trying to rank up to 200K, you see down here, 120,000 in qualifying volume is the max strong leg volume. I was close to 200K over here, but he could only get $120,000 of volume from me. If we had kept some of those sales still over here, that rank would have happened. But hey, it happened. It happened just a few months later. The world didn't end. And honestly, we've had promoters in this organization where they stayed redline for like a year or two, and then a rank bonus came around where they were able to get a big rank, and bypass that red line, and it all worked out. Things work out in time. And guys, this is something that I always want to stress. If you never moved anybody in the waiting room and you have a whole giant line of of sponsorship downline. Level 1, don't worry about it. You didn't know, move on. And you do it going forward. Don't cry over spilt milk. And you just do it as you're going forward, and you use the strategy. If someone's a free promoter, like I said, or they order, you have 60 days from the time they create that account to move them. So if someone signs up and you're like, oh, you know what, like Susie signed up to be a free promoter, she never ordered, never did anything, I'm just going to move her. I'm going to move her under JoJo because they live in the same town. And I know when Susie gets started, I bet that it would be great to have her with JoJo. Or, you know, and just so, because otherwise, if you leave her as a floating leg, like, and one day she wants to start a business, her sales aren't going to help anybody. You might as well just move them in case they randomly do something. If somebody sits, like I said, if somebody sits for a couple years as a free promoter and they're like, you know what, I really want to work this business. I never did it. A lot of times you can close those old free accounts. I'll just send a ticket to support and say, hey, I have someone that wants a fresh start and they've never ordered. They'll close their account and let them rejoin with you. And this gives you the option to really, your business now may be different than it was 3 years ago. And you may have moved that person into like no man's land at this point. So sign them up fresh. Honestly, for me, it's because you get that 200K pay now from the time you create your account. I don't want someone to lose that window by ordering their kit and getting those sample mail outs now, because those things are bypassed too if they're a free account that's been sitting there. So this strategy, guys, is really, really awesome. And what's really cool when you take a look at how you get paid when you're moving somebody on here, as far as, you know, like I said, you're personally sponsored. You get a lot of these awesome perks and the infinity match and things like that. When you move somebody like these promoter kits, you know how we always get paid for let's say your $800 pack. You get $140, level 1, level 2, 80. None of this changes. So I could sign up Dawn. I could move her like 25 levels deep. She's still my level 1 sponsorship. I'll always get paid on all of these levels of whatever it is, no matter what. But the people you place them under, they're never going to earn that. So if I moved Dawn under Kristen, Kristen's going to see the volume towards her rank off those kits, but she won't see any of the commissions off these kits. If Dawn were to order, let's say, and have customers, you earn a portion of your placement downline bonus volume. So you still earn commission off someone that's placed under you, just not as much. So when you take a look at your ranks and your commissions and what you can earn, you know, I'm not going to get into all of that now, but all I can tell you is you can make a lot of money in this business. There's like, I mean, like literally you scroll through all these pages, like you get paid like this, you get paid like this. I mean, and if you were to break down your checks and click on each order and kind of look at it and you were like, what I earn what? I mean, it's amazing. One of the just extra caveats that I make sure that I like to post towards the end of the month is if you're close, if you're new, it's totally, you know, it may not be feasible, but if you can always have 8 qualified and active personal promoters, if you're at 7, it's worth it to get that 8th promoter, because when you look at the commissions that you can earn, you're bumped up because we've got a matching bonus commission on here. When you're 4K and above, let's say John's your personally enrolled promoter. He earns 4,000 in unilevel commissions. You would earn a check match of $800 to $1,600 depending on your rank. So $1,600 I would earn if I have 8 qualified and active promoters off what he makes in commissions. So right here, you can get a match on all your personally enrolled promoters. So obviously it says the key to this bonus is teamwork. Help your team become successful. So you can earn so much by just having those 8. It bumps you up from 20% to 40% right here. It's a huge caveat. So, or, you know, just perk basically of it. So on here, when you're, like I said, when you're trying to make these moves, just take a look at this and this visual that's here, because think about it as all of the people you can help. And one other thing is when someone signs up as a promoter after the 15th of the month, I know that there's a lot of people on the VIP report right now. If they sign up after the 15th of the month, their volume will carry over for the following month. So if you move someone from the waiting room under them before month end, they're going to have that volume going into the next month, where they actually have until the 30th of this month. If someone signed up at the end after the 15th of last month, their volume is going to carry to the end of this month where they can rank up. Also, for the Maui gym bonus, as long as the volume you move under someone before their 30-day period, let's say I sign someone up on the 1st of the month and someone signs up on the 15th of the month. If I were to move their volume, the person that signed up before them, into the underneath this person, I could help them rank up. But for the Maui gym bonus, it's only the 30 days that they have that bonus period that they get the volume. This volume was created before that, so they wouldn't get it. That's the only kind of confusing part that you may run into from time to time. But you want to help people, especially if they're in their first 30 days, get volume moved before month end, because they can carry that volume over. Let's see here. It's kind of a guessing game to a point, though. Some new promoters don't. It's honestly, some new promoters don't take off. I made a good point last night on why you want to move people and you don't want to just leave them. Jennifer, when she signed up, I think she went 4K pretty fast. And I believe it was when her father-in-law passed away, and she just kind of was not feeling the business, checked out. I want to say, I thought it was 8 months. You may have to hear her story again. But after her first, month or so, she really didn't do anything. Maria was just like, well, I'm going to move her. And she moved her under Kim Collins. And then after, time went on, like I said, 8 months, a year later, Jennifer started rocking her business. All of us fall under there just from that one move. Had Maria just kept her up here, what's Jennifer have? Over $100 million in sales, wouldn't have been able to help Kim, Sheila, and Maria, a lot of those sales. So it's really, honestly, it makes sense to condense as much as you can, but don't go crazy with condensing, and get with your upline to have that conversation. I can pull up and I could pull up like Jess's account, and she could say, hey, take a look at my placement downline. And I'll be like, okay, how many? I can see all of her active legs. A person is qualified and active as a promoter if they've ever had $100 in sales. So that's where you'll see those checked boxes. They're not active the following month if they didn't have $100 in personal sales or a customer sale. So the next month, if they didn't place an order, they had no customers, they'll say qualified, not active. That's when all of the people below that they signed up as promoters become your sponsorship downline. They may be on level 2, but you're paid on them as level 1, because this person is not getting paid. This person could have 10 active promoters, but if they don't have a personal order or a customer order, they are not active. You do not get personal volume from a promoter under you. That's why during double and triple commission periods, we've had people that have had customers flip over to become a promoter. And when you are a customer and you flip over to become a promoter, you take your you take your personal order with you. Like, I'm a customer. I made this $100 order. I'm now a promoter. This $100 comes with me. This $100 does not belong to JoJo if I was JoJo's customer. So she doesn't have me as a customer, but I'm active now. So that's where my box gets checked as qualified. It's only a one-time thing. They ever have to have $100 in personal volume and they become a qualified promoter. Active is just the pay period. So if somebody, we all know that life happens to people. You'll have someone that maybe goes inactive for a really long time. That account's still there. They just need to come in and get a $100 order, and they can pick up and start building their business and grow again and start earning commissions off maybe a team that they built, or bringing in their customers again and things like that. Mandy, you have a question. If you want to unmute, you can, Mandy, if that works for you. I don't know where you're at.
You know what? Thank you. You just answered that. So if they're not qualified with their $100 and then they come back and qualify, it still counts for you. So you just answered that.
That's all they got to do.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you want them to do it by the end of Sunday night if they want to get paid on whatever orders might have come through from promoters under them, so they can get paid by Tuesday. They'll be active for that pay period. But yeah, because you may see a lot of people that are at the beginning of this month like, oh fuck, I'm there. All these people are inactive. If they go and place an order today, they're active today. But they're not going to get paid on maybe all of the orders last week. If they were your personally enrolled, it rolled up to you. You got paid on it. They didn't get paid on it because they weren't active during that pay period. And then, oh, Kristen, I have my hand raised.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Auto bonus 12K. Redlining. Is there a certain percentage that a person has to get qualified for auto bonus if they're redlined? Sorry, I have a cold.
Like, I don't get what you're like. You need obviously $12,000 total customer
Correct.
sales, personal sales, everything. And your strongest leg, you only can get credit for $7,200 of that leg. Like what I'm trying, and so basically you rest of the sales on all of your other legs. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that one of my promoters, if once she hits 12K, that she's going to get paid her auto bonus based on that she's not going to get redlined. So is there a certain percentage she has to be at to get paid?
She has to have, I mean, it just depends on where her leg at. If she has 3 legs that are 4K, 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 she's good. If she's got one that's a super strong leg that sometimes may go like $10,000 in volume, she's only ever going to get $7,200. So she needs to build up these other legs. Sometimes you can't really, like, you don't know that some leg is going to blow up and explode and give you tons of volume. And that's when you'll be redlined. You honestly could, in order to be 12K, she could have, I mean, I see it where I have people that are 12K that have had like $1 million on one leg, you know, just based on moves. And they just had to get the other, you know, volume. What did I say? 7,200, 12,000. They had to get the other 4,800 on the other legs, and they were 12K. But you could have $1 million in sales, but only be 12K if it's all on one strong leg. It's just a matter of those other legs, but sometimes you just don't know where the sales are going to come from. So there's sometimes it's hard to prevent someone from being redlined. But if you have a feeling and you know, like, wow, these two are my rock stars, I'm going to make them my 2 legs. They are going to be my rock stars. I'm going to stack all the other, not stragglers, but other people that come along strategically under them. I'm not going to stack my 2 ballers together because that's going to just be like a perfect storm. They're just going to all give me all my volume over here. And then I'm going to be struggling over here because I'm not going to have anybody. But in your case, obviously, if you've got family and you've got different things, like you want to strategically stack in place where you can help sometimes the most people, you know, and do it that way. Because like I said, don't go more than 4 levels deep, but you can really make some of those moves to help a lot of people at one time and help yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense or no? Am I want to make sure that I'm not like going in a circle.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question? Exactly. Carol is hot on my tail. See, that's a good thing. Like you have one rock star, you have your sister Carol, so she's there. So your focus needs to be like, hey, I want to help Carol. She's awesome, but Carol's not going to get waiting room moves from you. Anybody else that you sign up, you're going to move them and stack them under all of those other legs over here, JoJo, and you're going to try to find somebody else under here that you can help rank up and work. Because what's going to happen is when you find someone that's your person and you can start stacking and maybe helping them a little bit, they're going to work harder for you. They're going to be like, oh my God, JoJo just put this person under me. Like, you know what I mean? And when someone's moved under you, a lot of times I've had promoters that are trying to go for a rank or a rank bonus, and they're like, oh, you know what? You placed, Jason underneath me. I am going to make sure that Jason gets every promotion that I have to offer. I'm going to be commenting and hyping up Jason. Like, they're a free gift to you. They aren't your promoter. You don't, you don't sponsor them or anything. You don't have to do those things, but it helps you because if they do well, you do well. Let's see. I know you talked about this, but redlining someone is not a bad thing. Oh my God, no. If you're redlining someone, like that means like you're kicking ass, like you're a rock star. Like, I think it's a good thing. Like, there are so many people, our team has insane red lines, on all of my legs in different organizations and states and teams, just by stacking, because sometimes you really don't know that someone is going to explode and blow up. But honestly, now it just means like, wow, this person is super awesome. And guess what I have to do for my business? I have to focus on just getting 40% of a rank, because this person is pretty much going to get the rest of it and done for me, like in your mind. Not that you're not going to help that person, but that's a great freaking thing to have a red line. So if you're redlining someone, like you're rocking it, you're kicking ass. Your upline should want you to do well, because you're honestly just not, you're maybe slowing them down from a rank, but they're still making money off you, which is awesome. Question, Michelle has a question.
Real quick, and I know you touched base on it, but I just want to clarify. So with 8 promoters, you're doubling your commission basically to 40%.
Correct. On that matching portion. Exactly.
Okay. Now, by moving people, and let's say I move people and I only end up with 2 level 1s, that still goes down levels as far as 8 underneath you. Does this question make sense?
Yes, I get what you're saying. If you sign up 8 people, they're always your 8 personal sponsored. You could combine all 8 under one leg and move them 9 levels deep or whatever. You're still, as far as your sponsorship downline, they're still your level 1 sponsorship, no matter where you move them. And you can actually see that. It'll say for your, if you click on your auto bonus reports, it'll show you and anybody that's hit the auto bonus. Or if you're 4K, you should be able to see sponsorship downline. You can click and see how many people have how many are active. But what it will do is, honestly, it won't matter as long if you've placed them anywhere, as long as they're your personal.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What other questions can you guys think of? I want to make a take. Oh, Kristen's got me thinking I got to take a picture, because it's kick butt. Curious if I'm uplining or if I'm redlining my upline. You might be, Jojo. That's a good thing. They should be like, Jojo rocks. What other questions? If we don't have any questions, I think that's kind of it, guys. But take a look. I added boards. I added the compensation plan to boards so that you have it. That way, if you have to send this to somebody, but the compensation plan's a little confusing. So don't stress yourself out over it. But this is something that could really make you money. But all you need to do is lean on your upline. And if they're like, I'm really not sure. Okay, ask the next person. Ask the next person. You know what I mean? And find out where you should make the moves. But all I can say is, don't get mad if someone's redlining you. And don't get upset if sometimes people get so overwhelmed and aren't really sure what to do about the waiting room. And if someone maybe has placed a bunch of people under you, you've already got some legs, and so if you have more than 4 active legs, and you have maybe 10, it's okay. Everything is a learning process, so don't sweat it. But I think that's it for tonight. I know I kind of went a little longer than I anticipated, but this is a really good topic. So we'll get this recording out to you. And I think that's it. So have a good night, guys.